All right, Shabbat Shalom to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. We're going to start off this lesson by giving all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh. All right, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well and has taught us His word in truth and sincerity. All right, and peace and mercy to the hopeful elect that are also pushing His word in truth and sincerity across the four corners of the earth. And as well to you little amount of sisters that believe, peace and mercy to you. So today's class, the lesson is going to be based upon Ezekiel, the 37th chapter. We're going to go through that chapter, and the title is The Great Awakening. All right. We're just going to get right into it. Let's share my screen real quick. All right, so you see here, this is Ezekiel's vision of the valley of dry bones. Okay, and this is basically, this chapter is history and prophecy in one. You know, so Ezekiel 31 or 37 and 1, and it reads, "The hand of the Lord Yahweh was upon me and carried me out in the spirit of the Lord Yahweh."
So sorry again, brother. Sorry again.
I said, it says Ezekiel 31 or 37 and 1. The hand of the Lord Yahweh was upon me.
So the reason why I asked to read it again is just to make known that the hand of the Lord is also referring to Yahweh Shai. Okay, so that spirit, right, which is spirit of prophecy, pursuant to Revelation 19 and 10, right? So the spirit of prophesying was on Ezekiel. All right, keep reading.
And carried me out in the spirit of the Lord Yahweh, and set me down in the midst of the valley, which was full of bones.
Right. So basically, that's what's happening right now. That's what you're seeing is an awakening, right? We were in that state of destitute and of lowliness, right? A valley represents a low place. So the nation of Israel, right, in completion, was in a low state. But the Lord is about and has, in the process of raising up a third, right, of that entire nation to hear this truth, to get this truth, and to repent, because it was predestined for a third of the nation to be saved on this side, right? So this is what you have some niggas when the apostles are saying that we know more than the ancient men, right? They're not getting it, right? Because they had a spirit to be writing these things down, but they didn't understand it. Now we're understanding it. Pursuant to Daniel 12, where it says the book, open the book at the end.
Right.
This is where we are at the end now. That's what we're saying. We have arisen from that dead state.
Right. Yep. And it's one thing to have your sinews and your skin on, but you also have to have the breath.
Con.
I got a quick precept here. This is Psalms 23 and 4. It says, "Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil."
So the word death and valley is in synchronicity. It is synchronizing. They go together. Right? So we're just in a low-lying place, and without this truth, we're dead. We're in a dead state.
That's right. "For thou art with me, my rod and thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me."
Which is the laws, right? Because knowing that, like today is a Shabbat. At one point in our lives, we could give to a hell what a Shabbat was, right? We're saying that ain't pertaining to us. That's for them small hatters, right? But now, even before this life started, I'm like, brother, is it Shabbat tonight? So I know I got to be in straights,
Right.
You know, I have to make sure like my mind is in tune with the Heavenly Father, and not to do anything that's self sufficient. Like, you know, that's like selfish.
Right.
Like having a relation with a woman on tonight,
That's right. Yeah.
right? That's the main thing.
Yeah. And we know that, this valley, right? Like the brother broke down, a low land, right? And that's, America is the Mecca of this place called of the Mecca of wickedness, man.
Con.
All right? And that's this place, man. The bulk of us Israelites are over there in America, and that's a low land, right? Mentally, physically, like to say, Malak, morally, spiritually, in every single way, low land. And yeah, man, this wisdom and knowledge is what comforts us because we're not in our rest, right? We're not in our rest. We're subject to payments, okay? And we can't keep the laws and the statute of commandments to the best of our abilities. You know, we're surrounded by sodomites.
Yeah.
There's a wickedness, man. So the only comfort we have in this society, in this world, is this truth, this knowledge, man. Verse 5, it says, "Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies."
And this is where this is this table, man. This
That's
internet,
right. That's right.
right? There's a large gathering, and there's a big feast. Like every second day, the brother Amath have a big feast, right, of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, right, from the Holy Spirit. And throughout the whole world, mainly at each continent, you have brothers sending up videos, right, that's likened unto wine, bread, and oil, right, and meat.
That's right.
right?
That's right.
So there's a table, and our enemies are beholding us. They're watching these videos, right? Even though you don't see them causing an uproar yet, right? But they're taking crafty counsel right now against the hidden ones, which are us.
That's right.
Right? They're saying, how can we get these damn, off the air? Passing all these laws in Canada here, the Bill C-111, right? That's in the workings, and they're saying if it's not, they don't deem it to be a Canadian enough, they can block it.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And this reminds me as well, like that story that High Priest Ariad told the apostles, our elders, about how when they were preaching, you had a bunch of Edomites roll up in a black car, come out, and they saw the truth in the plank, right? Of the 12 tribes. And they said, how did you guys know that? How did you guys figure this out? We paid lots of money to hide this from you.
That's right.
It says, "Thou anointeth my head with oil, my cup runneth over."
That's right. There's never enough of this truth, man. Whereby we're on the highways, the internet highways, man, and the agora. So this is like unto the agora, right, which is out in the open, right? This internet.
That's right.
We're casting our nets, right, and being fishers of men, right?
Verse 6, "Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord Yahweh forever."
That's right, man. So we're gonna be covered, we're gonna be secured because the house represent what? Security, right? Proverbs 18:10 says the name of the Lord, right, is a strong tower. So the Lord's name, right, is what's going to secure us, knowing the name, believing that name, and trusting in that name, right? In faith and in truth.
Right. Yeah, and that's a good point about the house being security, because the security of Israel is going to come out of the house of David, starting with Yahweh Shai. And then the rest of the elect.
Real quick, I just don't read it though. I'm gonna just give it for reference for those at home, because what was just said is history, but it's also prophecy. So the record of what we're going into in regards to the table, the prayer, the getting together, that record is set up by Yahushua with the apostles, right? So the record there is Acts. If you read the book of Acts, for those at home, Acts chapter 1, right? And the point is at the 17th verse. Okay, but it's actually a whole chapter, but mainly that. Okay, you can actually start from like 12 to about 17 to just bring in the point of what is being said here in regards to the history and how the Lord set it up. So I'm just going to read one verse real quick, brother, for those at home, right? And this is called the upper room experience. That's what it is. So it says here, then returned they unto Jerusalem from the mount from the mount called Olivet, which is from Jerusalem, a Sabbath day journey. Interesting, right? And now when you go down, it gives you the record, right? Jumping down to the 14th verse, it says, these all continued with one accord in prayer and supplication with the women and Mary and the mother of Yahushua and with his brethren, right? So I just read that just simply put for the record that this is not something that we're making up. This is our house. This is our economy that Yehovah Shem Yoshai set up. And it starts with the apostles, right? When the instruction is given from Yahushua is given it to them, and they push it forward in spirit and in truth.
Gone.
All right. Anyway, that's the point on that.
This is Ezekiel 37:2, and cause me to pass by the roundabout, by them roundabout, and behold, right, and that these bones, if it wasn't already said, these bones are a metaphor for the nation of Israel.
Mm-hmm.
And cause me to pass by them roundabout, and behold, there were very many in the open valley, America, and the rest of parts of the world. And lo, they were very dry. Okay, so what does that mean? That means they lacked the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, all right, of Yahweh Shem Yoshai. And he said unto me, Son of man, can these bones live? And I answered, O Lord Yahweh, Hashem Yahushai, thou knowest. Again, he said unto me, prophesy upon these bones, and say unto them, O ye dry bones, hear the word of the Lord Yahweh. Right? Thus saith the Lord Yahweh power unto these dry bones. Behold, I will cause breath to enter into you, and ye shall live.
That's
Okay.
right. And that breath is going into the what? The wisdom, knowledge, and the understanding.
That's right.
All right. So Adam became a living soul. That
Genesis 2.
Yeah.
I got
beautiful point. You said that right. I thought you were going to go into it more, brother. You say go into. So obviously that breath is given, which is going into Rakakodash and what you just said.
Yeah.
But anyway, go ahead, brother. Let me get there.
This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7, verse 2, verse 24. You know what? Actually, I'm going to get to Genesis real quick, and then I'm going to link Genesis to that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Jump over there.
Yeah, come on. Genesis chapter 2 and I think around 7. Formed man. Okay, Khan. So this is Genesis 2 and 7, and it says, and the Lord Yahweh power formed man out of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life.
That's right. Right. So the breath there that Most I breathed was giving him, instructions, right? Righteous instructions and how to move, what's required of him to be accepting in the sight of our Lord Yahweh Shem Yoshai.
Right.
If this is not given to you, or if it's given to you and you choose to disregard them, right? You'll be basically in Proverbs 21:16. You can go there after this real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I was bringing up
Okay.
Proverbs 21:16 reads, "The man that wandereth out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead."
That's right.
All right. So without the understanding, you're seen as a dead man. You're dry bones.
That's right. That's right. That says, and man became a living soul.
And that's an Israelite man, right?
That's right.
We weren't called Israelites back then. We're called the sons of God. All right. So the sons of God became living after this laws, statute, and commandments was given to them orally. Right. The heathens were there. They're doing their own thing. Right. Because you got to remember this book, this document is of our foreparents, our ancestors, but the heathens have gotten their hands on it and have stated claim. Right. They're saying the book also includes them, but that's they're in a trick bag,
right?
Because it has nothing to do with them, right? And they're gonna find it out real soon.
That's right.
Right.
And we have to remember too, like this is heavy too, because this shows us that Adam, because we know in Genesis, the first chapter, around the 26th verse, that's where man and women were created. So all people, right, were on like the same level, and then the Lord made a separation with Adam by giving him what the brother said, gave him these laws, statutes, and commandments, which gave him order, but ultimately it gave him rulership and dominion, right? Because Adam was the first priest and king on the earth. So now we'll link this with Wisdom Solomon 7:24. It says, "For wisdom is more moving than any motion. She passeth and goeth through all things by the reason of her pureness. For she is the breath of the power of Yahweh."
Expound on that, brother. Expound on that. Because I'm not able to miss what you said.
Khan. Verse 25, it says, "For she is the breath of the power of Yahweh." And this is basically what we just read, man. That breath is that knowledge. So Adam was given wisdom, knowledge, understanding, just like we're reading in Ezekiel, these dry bones, right? Adam was in a state like a beast-like state, which means, going off your own instincts, doing basically whatever the flesh perceives you to do. But then the Lord gave him wisdom, knowledge, understanding, right? And that set him apart. And that's why you had the three classifications back then, just like you have them today: sons of God, sons of the wicked, and the sons of men, right? And then it says, "And a pure influence flowing from the glory of the Almighty," which is where? In the heavens, right? "Therefore can no undefiled thing fall into her."
That's why Esau can't get this, man.
That's right.
That's why I'm that Brown. Was it John Brown?
Oh yeah. James Brown. James Brown. Something like that. Yeah.
Who's actually red, right? The most I give my omen man, because like he's saying is brown when we're the brown ones, if anything. Yeah. He's a red devil, right? And he can't get the scriptures. It doesn't resonate with him because the understanding was given to him. Right? The Most High only deals with one nation, man, and those are the Israelites. It tells you that in Amos 3:1.
Right.
You only have I known, yeah.
So like other.
Yeah. You only
have I known. Yeah, Khan.
Yeah, Slack. I think it's Charles Brown. His name is
Charles Brown.
That you mentioned, yeah, if I'm not mistaken. Real quick, this is Ephesians 2:1. It says, and you have he quickened, right? Who were dead in trespass and sins.
And the word quickened just means made alive.
That's right. Wherein time past you walked according to the course of this world, according to the prince of the power of the air.
That's right. The prince of the power of air is Esau. Like on TV, when they were pushing that thing like for 2 years, right? Pushing that thing, right? So if we're walking in the course of the world, guess what?
Yeah.
Most of the brothers will be lining up, man, saying, right. I need to work, man. I need to get I lose my job.
Multiple boosters, man.
God, But we know in the spirit that, hey, man, if it came down to that where they say, hey, this is your job, take your job, man. You know,
Right.
we don't want a job that bad. We're choosing the Heavenly Father and the Son.
That's right.
Right. And you see, we held steadfast, and see now everything's back to so-called normal. Right. And I know some brothers not, you know, I know some people took it, man.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like IUIC said he took it and he felt he lost his. May say he felt like he lost his spirit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. He went back into the valley of the dry bone. He became a dry bone again.
God.
You know, and it says, and the spirit that now worketh in the children of disobedience,
God.
among whom also we all had our conversation in past time, in times past, in the lust of our flesh, fulfilling the desires of the flesh and of the mind. So this is what Ezekiel is seeing. He's seeing Israelites, you know, fulfilling the desires of the flesh and of the mind. That's why he's likening them to dry bones.
That's right. You know.
And it says, and were by nature the
and
children.
that MOTB, man, that's coming up on us like really, really fast.
Yeah.
That's going to be a major desire of the flesh, man. That's going to be a major downfall for our people. Because what? It's going to be linked to what? Every single thing. Paying your mortgage, driving a car, getting seen by a doctor, to even eating.
Yeah, that's right.
So like, that goes into their 15-minute city. You know?
Yep.
Like so all those are like desire of the flesh, man. Which you know we're warning you about, because we were what? We were admonished about it, right? By who? Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, because that's the spirit of prophecy, right? The Most High is giving us the eyes to see, right? What's to come, and it's a blessing.
Yeah, that's mercy, man.
And
were by nature the children of wrath, even as all others, right? Because you know the son of perdition, you know, is Esau, but we even came to that state, man, where we were being so disobedient that we were catching wrath, heavy wrath. You know, but Yahweh, who is rich in mercy, for his great love wherewith he loved us, even when we were dead in sins, he hath quickened us together with Yahweh Shai. By grace ye are saved, and hath raised us up together and made us sit together in heavenly places in Yahweh Shai HaMashiach.
And that people that most have had mercy on, right? Because the Most High is not having mercy on no other nation outside of Israel. Let's prove that. Real quick, Isaiah 14:1.
I'll pull that up. Hey, shalom, Shabbat shalom to the brothers on the comment board, by the way.
Shabbat shalom, brothers.
Isaiah 14:1. It says, for the Lord Yahweh will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel.
That's it. So the Most High is not dealing with no other nation. Is in that I'm gonna have mercy on the Edomites, have mercy on this Israel, man. Right? So mainly the elect on this side. So that's what this mercy is for, man. It's not for everybody, man.
That's right. That's right. And will set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob.
And that strangers, there is not the heathens, man. That's the other Israelites, you know, who are scattered. Right? The same Israelite mentioned in James 1:1.
Right. Yep. Real quick, I think.
With strangers?
Yeah, because there's a little, Gar, right? And when you go into Gar, it says here, when you look in the Hebrew/Chaldean lexicon, it says a sojourner, stranger. It says a person living out of his own country. Just for the record. So back in Ezekiel 37 and 4, it says, "Again he said unto me, prophesy upon these bones, and say unto them, O ye dry bones, hear the word of the Lord Yahweh. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh power unto these dry bones. Behold, I will cause breath to enter into you, and ye shall live."
And Yahushai, when he was murdered, right, and he went into the ground, right, something miraculous happened. Okay,
right,
and that was basically a foreshadow of things to come. You can pull up in Matthew 27, 52.
That's actually heavy. You say that. It's true. Because that was a literal thing foreshadowing a metaphorical thing, like a spiritual thing. Matthew 27. Yeah. Start from 1 or
no 52.
Okay, fine. Matthew 27 and 52, and it reads, "And the graves were open, and many bodies of the saints which slept arose and came out of the graves," right? Dry bones, valley. Right? If you're catching on to what I'm saying, man, that's spiritual how the brother's bringing this out. "And came out of the graves after his resurrection, and went into the holy city, and appeared unto many."
So Israel is known as the holy city, man, because the word holy means separate. So now we came out of that dead state, and now we're appearing to many.
Right.
Because like I'm not going to see you and say, Amath, or Ashar, hey, your name. I know you're so. This guy is do this and do that. Not know to him, and that we're born again, man. Right? That ain't us no more.
That's right.
So if they come across us and say, say, hey, it is what it is. But the most as mask us though, because this is not really for them. This is for the hopeful elect.
That's right.
That's what we do these videos for, because we're not making this for Kodak Black. Kodak Black have been Kodak Black. Little Boosie have been Little Boosie, and Charleston White have been Charleston White. You know what I'm saying? Even though they're Israelites, but it's not for them.
Right.
Right. This is a holy convocation.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Beautiful point, because this is history, but it was prophecy when it happened in terms of the event, because we just read it in Ezekiel. And this wasn't written when Ezekiel was prophesying about it. And it happened, and it continues, right? We know the story. We don't have to go into detail about it. Abba Bivens, so forth, right? We've done a lot of videos, but I just wanted to confirm exactly. And it's about the election, ultimately. That's what the inspiration tells us. That's what the inspiration tells us. This is really about the elect that's going to receive the breath. The inspiration. Okay, I just wanted to say that. So yes, we'll go into it a little bit more. But a lot of people don't believe this anyway, what we just read. But go ahead, brother. That's the point on that. History was history, and now it's a prophecy and history again. Go ahead, and prophecy. Go ahead, brother.
Well, just to add to the point that Brother Kasa mentioned, in 2 Ezra 8:1, and he answered me saying, "The Most High Yahweh Bashem Yahushai had made this word for many, but the words to come for a few." So not everyone's going to get this. Not everyone's going to understand what we're saying.
Beautiful.
Yeah, because it's about the kingdom, and like he said, man, it's a holy conversation, right? The Lord. Right. When you read the scriptures and understand the story, and understand the story, this is about a certain house, a certain group or class of government is given laws and statutes and commandments to properly govern the earth and everything else that's in the Lord's house, which is these other planets. And now they went off. They went off their way. The Lord reestablished life into them through his begotten son Yahushai, and now they're being risen up.
Well, also this is basically like I would say the king's language.
Right.
Because what are we seeking to achieve? A kingdom, dominion of kings.
That's right.
Right.
That's
So,
right.
so that's why I'm a serf, right? And the spirit can't get it.
Nope.
You know, this language is as simple as it is, right? Like it's not set up for anybody. This is for royalty, man. This is regal talk.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Hey, just to add to your point, a lot of people probably think, what are those guys doing in the corner every weekend? And what are they getting out of it?
Right.
But they don't know that at the end of this, there's a light, there's a future for us.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, that was just Deuteronomy 7:6. Brother also mentioned. Okay, we're we're a chosen people. Just want to say Deuteronomy 7:6. So again, it's king's language, right? And those kings are also prophets and priests. A special order, right? Deuteronomy 7:6, it says, "For thou art an holy people unto Yahweh," right? And we know in the Revelation, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, thy power, Lord, thy power hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth, right? And we mentioned the word face. That word face there goes into the knowledge as well, right? Because they're inspired, right? For you folks at home, look up that word face. Look it up in this context. And if you've been following along what the brethren were reading in regards to the word face, okay? So that inspiration is only given to the elect of Israel, right? Anyway, that's a point on that.
Ezekiel 37:6, it says, and I will lay sinews upon you, and will bring up flesh upon you, and cover you with skin, and put breath in you, and ye shall live, and ye shall know that I am the Lord Yahweh. Right. So a key distinguisher of an Israelite having the breath is proclaiming the name of the Lord and his son. Verse 7, it says, so I prophesied, and I was commanded as I was commanded, and I prophesied. There was a noise, and behold, a shaking, and bones came together, bone to his bone. Now, we when you understand the history, this goes back to the 70s, right? Early 70s, and Abba Bivens, who we believe by prophecy is Elijah, to come back and to set the fathers to the sons and the sons to the fathers. Now, I got this quick little excerpt about, it says, in other important activist movements of the late 60s and early 70s. And I'm going to read two excerpts out of here because this basically backs up the noise and the shaking. So you had a lot of noise and shaking happening in the 70s. And so this says Red Power. So this was a movement. Okay, it says Red Power, the Black Power movement of the 1960s, tends to receive the most attention from historians because it was a major aspect of a larger civil rights struggle. However, in discussing civil rights, one must look beyond the plight of African Americans, which that's what they were calling us, but you had different factions, like people, some Jakes were calling themselves Israelites, some of them were calling themselves lords, you know, some were still calling themselves African Americans, right? For instance, Native Americans within the nation struggled mightily. Their troubles extended as far back as early colonial settlements. Unfortunately, Native Americans or Red Power movement of the 1960s is overshadowed in history books. So you even had a movement with GAD, you know. So this also is a part of the shaking. It says here Brown Power movement, similar to the Black and Red Power movements. Mexican Americans formed a Brown Power or Chino movement. The campaign called for Mexican Americans to reject assimilation into American society and celebrate their Chino heritage. Activists encouraged to federal governments to increase educational opportunities for Mexican Americans and end this discrimination against the culture. Right. So this, I just brought this up real quick just to, add more flavor to this noise and shaking that was happening. So you had a lot of Israelites waking up to different factions of truth, right? But there's different stages to awakening. So verse 8, Ezekiel 37 and 8.
Before you go on, brother, can I bring on Romans 11 and 7? Because them waking up, right? They knew something's wrong. The nation knows something is wrong, and they're seeking something. It's comfort, right? They just want to be comfortable. That's why they say, we want equal rights, not knowing, as the elder brought it earlier on, Deuteronomy 7 and 6, that there's no equality with us and the other nations. We were meant to be the ruling class, right? And they're under us. We're above them, and that's how it was set up. Okay, so Romans 11:7 says what?
What then Israel hath not obtained that which he seeketh for.
So them red thing you just read this now, whatever it is, banner they want to fall under, that's not our true destination.
That's right.
That's not what we should be seeking after. About Black Power movement and Black Lives Matter, right? That's not it. You want to be a rap star? None of that stuff.
That's right.
You read?
And it says, but the election hath obtained it.
So see, there's a differentiation within the nation. See, he says Israel in a whole is not found, but he said, but there's an election, right? So there's some within a nation, right? Because there's a chosen within the chosen.
That's right.
Right? There's not all black people. Let's unite, right? Pump your fist up in the air like you just don't care. Right? This is about the Abashim Yashai, man. Right? And what? The rest were blinded.
That's right.
Right? And who blinded them?
The Lord.
Abashim Yashai.
Yep.
Right? Pursuant to Isaiah 9, where it says, right?
Yeah, and this also goes back to what we were talking about, this breath. Right? Because like you mentioned, see, Israel was aware that they were in a condition of some sort. And that's the thing with Israel is that they always complain about their condition because they don't understand the curses. And being in that condition, they're looking for comfort. But that comfort was first set to the elect because they got the breath, which is the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding.
That's right. I will send you the comforter.
That's right. That's right.
It wasn't to the old nation. Right? DMX never got the comfort.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Run DMC they got the comfort. That guy, one of the guys, a sodomite man, that Russell Simmons.
Yeah.
I seen him doing some weird shit, some yoga pose with some man, bending him back ways and doing some thing to him on the gram. Where he's doing yoga.
Yeah.
How do we get comfort? To the word. Right?
Right.
Real quick, just to back up that about the ease and the comfort. This is Deuteronomy 28 and 65. And among these nations shalt thou find no ease.
Right.
Neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest. But the Lord Yahweh shall give thee a trembling heart and failing of eyes and sorrow of mind.
That's right.
And thy life shall hang in doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shall have no assurance of thy life.
Like how am I gonna do? They're asking now. Right. When you talk about MOTB to a Jake, like, I know, but what are you gonna do?
Exactly. Exactly.
Right?
We know already.
That comfort was given them.
Right.
You know what I mean, we know our comfort is what? Being faithful to the Lord.
Yeah,
that's right. That's what I take comfort in, knowing that I'm gonna pray that the Lord give me the faith and the endurance to persevere.
That's right. That's right. That's right. And it says, In the morning thou shalt say, would it were evening, and at the evening thou shalt say, would it were morning.
So basically 24 hours, man, you're just in doubt, man. Like you don't know where to turn. Like you don't want to be night, you don't want to be day, you're just tormented.
Right.
Right.
And that was heavy in America in these times because you basically didn't know if you were going to make it to the morning.
That's right.
And you didn't know if you were going to make it home tonight. You know? And it says, for the fear of thine heart wherewith thou shalt fear, and for the sight of thine eyes which thou shalt see. Right? And then the last verse, and the Lord Yahweh shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships by the way thereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again, and see what the land of Israel anymore. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bond men and bond women, and no man shall buy you. Okay, so going back to Ezekiel 37 and 9, and it says, then said he unto me, prophesy unto the wind, prophesy, son of man, and say to the wind, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, come from the four winds, O breath, and breathe upon these slain.
That's why there's a great awakening in all the continents.
Right, that's right.
Right. So this is just again the spirit of prophecy, right? And each man, you can get that Revelation 19:10, please, brother.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to read it. You know, it came up 3 times. We're quoting it 3 times, so let's bring it out.
Yeah. Revelation 19, right?
10.
Revelation 19 and 10, and it reads, and I fell at his feet to worship him, and he said unto me, seest thou do it not?
That's the Apostle John,
right?
Right. Seeing an angel, he was in the presence of an angel, right? And he fell at his feet because of the grand stature, you know, like
the
he
majesty.
You know, this glorious creature, right, in front of him. So he thought, you know, I better get down and bow down.
Yeah.
But what did the angel say to him?
It says, "See thou do it not."
But don't do that, man.
Yeah.
Right? Because what?
I am thy fellow servant.
So see that? So he's saying because we're on the same level, right? I'm like you, brother. That's what he's saying, man. I'm like you. Right? Keep reading.
And of thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahweh Shai.
So that's what made him on the same level, man. He's saying we have the same testimony, man.
Yep.
Right?
Right.
We're on the same level because we're doing the same thing. We're upholding, we're lifting, we're magnifying Yahweh Shai.
Right. Worship Yahweh. The testimony of Yahweh Shai is the spirit of prophecy.
That's right. So we have that spirit, right? That's why we're likened unto him. That's why the Lord is dealing with us, because you know what? We have the same. Our spirit is synchronized, man. It's in accord.
Yeah.
Right. Sure. And that's why if a brother is not playing on the same tune, is not, you know, you can say this brother's off, man.
Yeah.
You know, it might need some counseling.
Yep.
You know, a good guitar, it needs tuning. So you have like tune it, you know. Yeah. And that's what happens in this choir, man. Sometimes the brother go off, he says, "Hey, brother," you know, and it's come back into the fold.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
It's music.
God. Right. Ezekiel 37 and 10. For I prophesied, and he commanded as he commanded me, and the breath came into them, and they lived and stood upon their feet. An exceeding army.
Great army.
Great army.
Great army.
Exceeding great army. Come
That's right. Revelation 11:11.
Yeah, come on.
Right? Because if you see an army right now, even when we see like some a train with some tanks on it, we say, "Brother, look, it's some tanks," you know. And sometimes, you know, we're jumping the gun. Yeah, you ain't jumping.
Yeah.
So these elites, these nations have seen a great army, man.
That's
right? So read
11:11. Revelation 11:11. And after 3 days and a half, which is a literal period, right? We're talking about 350 years. which is from the period of 1619 to 1969.
Con.
Right? And after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from Yahweh entered into them.
And that's the same life we're speaking about, right? In Ezekiel 37, you know, that knowledge, that wisdom has entered into them. And what happened?
And they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them.
There you go, man. So you see, these niggas, because you know that's gonna be their new name, niggas, man. You Edomites gonna be the niggas, right? And these niggas, they're in fear because they know what we're saying is the truth, man. Right? And truth is one thing we're using to tear down these lies, right? And via what? Computer and a smartphone. That's it. We don't have no military, right? And no arms. A smartphone, man. Right?
Yeah.
Every Saturday, the brother Ashar brings a smartphone, right? And brother Gabar brings his smartphone, and that's it. You know, and worldwide, that's how we're doing, man. Smartphone.
That's right.
Yeah. It says, verse 11, Ezekiel 37:11. Then he said unto me, Son of man, these bones are the whole house of Israel. Behold, they say, O our bones are dried. Right? So they're yearning for the truth. They're yearning. That's what we read in Revelation 11:7. And our hope is lost. We are cut off for our parts. Therefore, prophesy and say unto them.
So this is an order. This is an order the Lord has given, right, to the prophets.
That's right.
Right? Was it cry aloud, spare not, lift up a voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgression. So if you're in the Lord's people, you're gonna disregard this truth, man. Right? The Lord has some men likened the sheep. Says, "My sheep shall hear my voice." And the Lord's voice come by the way of the prophets, man.
That's right.
Right?
That's right, man. Therefore prophesy and say unto them, thus saith the Lord Yahweh power, behold, O my people, I will open your graves and cause you to come up out of your graves. That's the spirit, man. We just read that. Right?
That's Matthew 27 right there, man.
Can. And bring you into the land of Israel. Because eventually that's what this knowledge is going to do, is going to restore us, right, into those right ways, the law, statutes, and commandments of the Lord. Then we're eventually going to inhabit, we're going to get back that land after it's being cleaned up by fire.
Well, that's how you become a sovereign, right? Through having a little title.
Yep.
Right? Like all the tribes going to have lands allotted to them. You know, tribe of Manasseh, tribe of Benjamin, tribe of Zebulun, right? Tribe of Simeon, right? All have land, man, right? And that's where you have true riches now, right? Because that's where the riches come from the ground.
Yeah, that's the whole point of husbandry.
Right?
You're farming. You need land to get all those resources. Just to show you how rich, just to show you the level of royalty Israel is going to be on, starting with the elect. In Second Esdras, the 6th chapter, in the 53rd verse, it talks about how the whole world was made for our sakes.
That's right.
And then we have the other planets in the universe. Verse 13, it says, "And ye shall know that I am the Lord Yahweh, and when I have opened your graves, O my people, and brought you up out of your graves," right? So a dead state, "and shall put my spirit into you, and ye shall live, and I shall place you in your own land. Then shall ye know that I, the Lord Yahweh, have spoken it and performed it, saith the Lord Yahweh."
That's right. Again, that's spirit of prophecy, because it was prophesied that for a time we'll be in asleep or dead-like state, right? And at a time where we're going to be stamped on our feet and start calling on the name again, right? Start repenting. right?
That's right, man. And it says, real quick, let me get this quick precept. Ezekiel 34, in the same book. Ezekiel 34 and 11, and it reads, for thus saith the Lord Yahweh power, behold, I, even I, will both search my sheep and seek them out. Right? And that's why we read in Wisdom of Solomon, the 7th chapter, that wisdom is more moving than anything in the air. Right? This truth is what's searching out Israel to gather the elect. Right? And it says, as a shepherd seeketh out his flock in the day that he is among the sheep that are scattered, so will I seek out my sheep and will deliver them out of all places where they have been scattered in the cloudy and dark day. Right? When we read about that earlier in Ezekiel, about how he was to prophesy and have the wind blow in the four corners. So verse 15, Ezekiel 37 and 15, the word of the Lord, Yahweh, came again unto me, saying, moreover, thou son of man, take thee one stick and write upon it for Judah and for the children of Israel, his companions.
So that's a prophetic and spiritual thing that's signed there that we that we have.
That's right.
Right. Declaring the different nation within the nations.
Yeah, nations within the nations. Yeah.
Right, because there's 12, and each tribe is like a nation unto itself. Okay, so and it says, is it Hosea 1 and 10? 1:11 says that in the place where they say, "You're not my people."
Yeah.
Right. So this is a place, man, where we're called all these bywords, niggas, spicks. Uncle Tomahawk and whatever, porch monkeys. No one was telling us what our true names were. Right. So here it is, a spiritual things happen. We see through the apostles and their teachers, right, brought up that 12 tribes, 12 tribes. It's Ariyah, I think, Elder Ariyah, right, which is my apostles' elders. Right.
And it says, then take another stick and write upon it for Joseph, the stick of Ephraim. Right. So why if Ephraim isn't of the nation of Israel, then why is the Lord telling him to do this? Right? You got them stupid ass Israelites that are saying that Ephraim isn't part of the 12 tribes.
The Lord's bugged them out, man.
Yeah, the dry bones.
Yep.
They give it the spirit of slumber.
The dry bones.
And for all the house of Israel, his companions, and join them one to another into one stick, and they shall become one in thine hand. And when the children of thy people shall say unto thee, saying, or speak unto thee, saying, wilt thou not show us what thou meanest by these?
It happens all the time. Like, come and say, do you see yourself in a sign?
Yeah.
Right. It says on one side it'll have like Judah,
right,
American Negroes, Benjamin, the West Indians, right? So it's just to bring clarity, right, to our people, to shed those byword, those names, like put it aside and say, you know what, I am an Israelite, and this is my tribe according to the Spirit, right?
That's right. And it says, say unto them, thus saith the Lord Yahweh power, behold, I will take the stick of Joseph, which is in the hand of Ephraim, and the tribes of Israel, his fellows, and
so Joseph Ephraim is interchangeable.
Right.
Yeah,
that's right. And will put them with him, even with the stick of Judah, and make them one stick, right? And Judah represents Judah, Benjamin, and Levi.
Southern Kingdom.
That's right. Because exactly the Southern Kingdom, right? Because you have to truly understand what we're reading right now. You have to be acquainted with the history of the split between the kingdom, between the 12 tribes. Okay,
Yeah, you have on the Jeroboam and Rehoboam.
that's right.
Rehoboam was ruling over, I think,
Southern kingdom.
Israel.
Yeah.
Right.
No. Judah.
Yeah. Khan, yeah.
Yeah.
And then Jeroboam was king of Israel.
That's right.
Who was a wicked nigga, man.
Khan, man. Yeah, man.
And if you can receive it, you are inspired by Yahweh Shem Yahushai. If you can receive what is being said, what you mentioned there,
Yeah.
the whole background. Yeah, go ahead, brother.
Khan. Yeah, that accounts in Second Kings, First and Second Kings, and it reads, "And make them one stick, and they shall be one in my hand,
Mm-hmm.
and the sticks whereon thou writest shall be in thy hand before their eyes."
And that hand again is represented the Yahushai, man. He's gonna be ruler over that one stick, that nation. He's gonna be the king of Israel.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a you being in control of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, that hand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's exactly. That's who's in control. Yeah. It says, verse 21, "And say unto them, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh power, Behold, I will take the children of Israel from among the heathen, whither they be gone, and will gather them on every side, and bring them into their own land."
Yeah, so then.
Right? "And I will make them one nation in the land upon the mountains of Israel, and one king shall be king to them." Right? And that's going to be King David. Right? He's going to be the king on earth, like on ground, but ultimately Yahushua, like the brother said, is ruling over the whole nation.
That's right.
"And the one king shall be king to them all, and they shall be no more two nations, neither shall they be divided into two kingdoms any more at all. Neither shall they defile themselves any more with their idols." That's how we became dry bones. Okay, because the worshiping of idols. Like when you read about, it really goes before the split of the kingdom. You can go back to Judges, Moses, even in Egypt, right? But that's always been a stumbling block, even back to Adam and Eve. It's always been a stumbling block of Israel was witchcraft, okay, idol worshiping. "Nor with their detestable things, nor with any of their transgressions, but I will save them out of all their dwelling places, wherein they have sinned, and will cleanse them. So shall they be my people, and I will be their power."
I'm making a quick precept.
Yeah.
Bring it out.
Amos 9:11.
Oh, that's the spirit.
You had it on deck, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually going to start from 9.
Fine.
Amos 9:9, and it reads, "For lo, I will command, and I will sift the house of Israel among all nations, like as corn is sifted in a sieve, yet shall not the least grain fall upon the earth." Right, so the elect are accounted for, and they've been accounted for since the beginning of time.
Fine.
All right. "All the sinners of my people shall die by the sword."
And we know Esau is one of the Most High's main sword. So Esau was set up and given charge over you, man, to chop your damn head off, man, for being wicked.
Yeah.
Right? It's straight up, man.
Yeah, straight. That's right. "Which say, the evil shall not overtake nor prevent us."
That's right, because you warn them, right? Because we're set up to do that. And that's what Jake said, man. You guys are crazy. You know, you're Sky Daddy, and you guys live in UFOs, and you know all these madness. All right, it's all good. You know, listen to tell you once, right? And then what? Your blood is off our hands.
Beautiful.
That's right.
Yeah, the dry bones, they just can't see what's going on with this shaking and this sifting. Go ahead.
In that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen. And so that's heavy, man. So that shows you in Ezekiel 37 that we're reading, the awakening is really just pertaining to the house of David.
God.
Right? And close up the breaches thereof, which is what we just read about. And that's why in Revelation 7, right, you read about 12,000 men, right, out of each tribe. Because during David's rule, all Israel was one kingdom. And I will raise up his ruins as I will raise up his ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old, that they may possess the remnant of Edom and of all the heathen. Right, we're gonna have slaves over these heathens. They're gonna be our slaves, starting with Esau, which are called by my name, saith the Lord Yahweh that doeth this. That's right. So, I had another one quick for this precept. Oh no, never mind. I just read it. Verse
24.
Verse 24, and it reads, verse 24. And David my servant shall be king over them, and they shall all have one shepherd. Right? That's your Howard shot. They shall also walk in my judgments and observe my statutes and do them. Right? You can read about that in Hebrews. This is basically the new covenant. All right, Hebrews I think 10 and 8 or 8 and 10, one of the two. And they shall dwell in the land that I have given unto Jacob my servant, wherein your fathers have dwelt, and they shall dwell therein, even they and their children and their children's children forever, and my servant David shall be prince forever. And it says, moreover, I will make a covenant of peace with them. Moreover, I will make a covenant of peace with them. It shall be an everlasting covenant with them, and I will place them and multiply them, and will set my sanctuary in the midst of them forevermore.
And that covenant, right, is not for you heathens, men.
That's right.
Talking about you have accepted the Lord Jesus Christ as your Savior. Well, you can just keep doing that, right? Because we are doing Jesus Christ. We're at a time right now. What we're doing, Yahweh Shai, man. Yahweh Shai and accepted no more. It's closed. It's predestined for Israel, right? Like 1/3 is predestined to get this truth, right? So it's not for anybody who humming and hawing and going back and forth, rolling on the ground, talking about Jesus. It ain't for you, man.
That's right.
Right? And you know what, brother? Can you quick before you, Jeremiah 31.
Yeah.
34.
No.
Because the Bible said, "Prove all things, man."
That's right.
Right? Because you always hear, the Lord is gonna be, willing anybody, you pork eating, pastors and like heathens, man.
Jeremiah 31 and 31. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord Yahweh, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah.
So see that the Lord didn't say it with anybody who believes.
Right.
Right? It was very clear, and it doesn't need any breaking down.
That's right.
Okay, and that's a prophecy that has been fulfilled. So what Christians have done, they have disregarded what they call the Old Testament, right? And thinking, oh, that's fulfilled. We're now living in the New Testament. There's many prophecies in the Old Testament haven't happened yet. Jeremiah 51, 49, 50, but the nukes, that hasn't happened yet. Right?
Right. This is 2 Samuel 7 and 10. Moreover, I will appoint a place for my people Israel, and will plant them, that they may dwell in the place of their own, and move no more. Neither shall the children of wickedness afflict them any more, as before time.
And so wickedness is pursuant to Malachi 1 and 4.
Right.
For wickedness.
That's right.
4 and
What
1.
a wickedness.
4
Yeah.
and 1. Yeah, 4 and 1. Yep. And it says, and as since the time that I commanded judges to be over my people Israel, and have caused them and has caused thee to rest from all thine enemies, also the Lord Yahweh telleth thee that he will make thee an house. Right? So he was speaking to David. And when thy days be fulfilled, and thou shalt sleep with thy fathers, I will set up thy seed after thee. Right? And these are the dry bones that woke up and put on the sinews together. They had their sinews be put together. They put on the skin, the flesh, and they got the breath. Which shall perceive out of thy bowels, and I will establish his kingdom. Right? So Yahweh shot. He shall build an house for my name, and I will establish his throne of his kingdom forever. Okay. So back to
Jeremiah 31 and 31.
Oh, Khan.
You're reading the 34.
Khan. Verse Jeremiah 31 and 32. It says, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant they break, although I was an husband unto them, saith the Lord Yahweh. But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel. After those days, saith the Lord Yahweh, I will put my law in their inward parts.
So that hasn't happened yet.
Right.
So that's why there's people in the land right now, because I was just there. They disregard there's nothing that they do that's in accord with the Bible. Okay. They do everything contrary to. Because I asked them, you know, they believe in God. I don't believe in that kind of stuff, man. That's some stories. Right?
What?
Yeah, man, they don't do nothing. And they were taught it. Because they go, when we were kids, we were taught Torah. We're taught a thing, but they go, we don't believe those things.
Oh, interesting.
Right? Straight up.
Wow. Yeah.
Wow. I will put my law in their inward parts and write it in their hearts, and will be their power, and they shall be my people.
And again, Tel Aviv is known as the gayest city in the world. I saw with my own eyes, man. I see them rainbow flags waving, man. You know, man holding hands, man see me type of shalom.
That's the city. That's one of the cities where they have the biggest parade.
Man. Wow. You know?
Border of wickedness, yeah.
Gone.
Wow.
Yeah. Talk about border of wickedness. And they shall teach no more every man his neighbor, and every man
won't be doing these videos anymore.
God.
Right? Because the Lord's gonna be in you. You won't be able to go off. And that's one of my prayers that I tell the Lord all the time, man, is like I can't wait for that day where I can't sin. Like I've always been pleasing to the Lord. I won't ever. I can't do it even if I wanted to. You know.
That's right.
And that's one of my main prayers, man. I just want to be like pleasant to the Lord in His eyesight, man.
God, man.
You know.
Yeah. It says, saying, know the Lord Yahweh, for they shall all know me. For from the least of them unto the greatest of them.
So see, there's levels, right? There'll be levels. Even if you're recognized as the least, you'll be good.
Yeah.
All right. You don't be a starving Israelite. You know, talking about spare change. You know.
I need some checkos.
Yeah.
I need some
Checkos, huh?
That's funny. From the least of them unto the greatest of them, saith the Lord Yahweh, for I will forgive their iniquity, and I will remember their sins no more.
Brother.
Khan, absolutely. Yeah, and that's important too, because we're not going to have the Ark of the Covenant in the kingdom, because Yahweh Shai is the Ark of the Covenant.
That's right.
And we would, when you go back to, you know, our Sabbaths or our services, when it came to the Day of Atonement, you would bring, you know, the priest would bring the sacrifice, so that the presence of the Lord would be there in the holies of holies among the Ark of the Covenant for us to receive mercy. But in this new covenant, the presence of the Lord is just going to be in us, man. It's going to be among us throughout the whole kingdom and wherever we go. You know, verse 27, Ezekiel 37 and 27, it says, verse 26. Yeah, verse 26. Moreover, I will make a covenant of peace with them. It shall be an everlasting covenant with them, and I will place them and multiply them, and will set my sanctuary in the midst of them forevermore. My tabernacle also shall be with them. Yea, I will be their power, and they shall be my people. And the heathens shall know that I, the Lord Yahweh, do sanctify Israel.
No, the whole world, the whole world with the heathens.
Yeah, it's Israel.
Yeah.
When my
Right.
sanctuary shall be in the midst of them forevermore.
No, in the whole world. Yeah. That's what it says. Right. Dry bones, and the border of wickedness, they cannot receive this.
Yep. Yeah, they can't. Yeah, they can't. They can't see a kingdom past this kingdom.
No.
Well, they'll be in the kingdom.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's the whole joke, man. That's how you know it's mercy, because you're going to be in the kingdom that you could never even see.
It says it right there in the precept.
Yeah. You never saw this kingdom, but yet you're going to have, you're going to be in it, being righteous.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Khan. So that's the lesson. Yeah, that's the lesson for today. It's for today's class. Lord willing, this was edifying to the whole full elect.
Brother, 1 minute. I have one precept, because the theme leading up to the everlasting covenant that's going to be put into the hearts of the election, right? It starts with that sifting and that shaking, and it's been on my mind, right? Because the next book, the next chapter is Ezekiel 38. So Ezekiel 37 and 7, on the point of shaking, I know it was mentioned, and just for you folks at home, if you've been keeping pace as well, right? The apostle Tahar mentioned about this great shaking is coming into Israel, is going to come into Israel, right? We're in that process. It's going to get stronger and stronger. That's why we're also doing this lesson, right? So Ezekiel 39 is the point. 38 and verse 19. I needed to read that in closing, right? Because this is what it's going to lead up to, this great shaking again. So we read the history, we prophesied about what's coming and what's going to happen and how intense it's going to be, right? So Ezekiel 38 and 19, if you could read that, brother.
This is Ezekiel 38 and 19. For in my jealousy and in the fire of my wrath have I spoken. Surely in that day there shall be a great shaking in the land of Israel, so that the fishes of the sea and the fowl of the heavens and the beasts of the field and all the creeping things that creep upon the earth and all the men that are upon the face of the earth shall shake at my presence, and the mountains shall be thrown down, and the steep places shall fall, and every wall shall fall to the ground.
All right. So the reason why I bring that up, of course, we're seeing the fulfillment, but prior to that, there's a spiritual application to verse 19, right? And it was already prophesied. We prophesied about it already and read it, right? In terms of how the movement and how the elect receive it versus how dry bones will not receive it.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to read. Yeah, I just wanted to read that precept to show the point of the shaking, that it's gonna be great. I mean, it's gonna be a great thing. Okay, but we're seeing it. Only elect can see it and receive it, right? And it's gonna get worse. People bugging out inside their minds and so forth like that, leading up to this great destruction of the Lord. So that's the point on that.
The hour of temptation that's really
Yeah.
going to beat up Israel.
Yeah.
MOTB. Con. So with that, we're going to close by giving all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh.
Hashem,
Shalom.
Hashem,
Double honor to the apostles and the other great millstone who rule well. That starts his word in truth and sincerity, and peace and mercy to the whole full life that are also pushing his word in truth and sincerity across the four corners of the earth. As well to little man and sisters that believe, peace and mercy to you. We're going to say Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
And a Barbara Ball.
Ball.
Lord willing, until next week, we'll see you again.